And what's up, guys? Boodchains here, back again for the 6th episode of the Boodchains Talks podcast. It is currently January 31st, 2021, and I'm here with my friend Vala Yakoub. Say what's up.
Hi, I'm Vala.
And so for anybody out there who don't know you, just give a quick rundown of who you are and what's going on in your life right now.
Hi, I'm Vala. I'm one of Brad's friends since grade 9, 3 years now. Not really doing much, just trying to get through quarantine.
Yeah.
Doing some music, hopefully going to university for psych and music next year.
Wonderful. I know when I met you, it was a long time ago. It was grade 9, and I think it was at Coffee House, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think so too. We didn't have any classes together. I know
At
that.
Coffee House, right? We met there. I think the first one I went to, I don't know if I did a performance or not. But for anybody out there who doesn't know a coffee house, I'm gonna let Vala explain it.
Okay, so coffee house is it's what it sounds like. It's a coffee house in the cafeteria at school. Just a bunch of amateur performers would come and we'd all sing, dance, poetry, whatever you really wanted to do. And it was like a cool creative space that was pretty no judgment. I remember meeting Brad here. He was super nice, but I don't think he did a performance the first time. But I remember the second time he ended up coming, I think he performed Bless.
Really?
I'm like 99% sure.
I think I did, yeah, because I think the timeline matches up.
And it was around, I think it was either the Christmas or February.
Oh, wait, no. There's no way I did Bless because Bless is like way too provocative for Coffee House. There's no way. I think I did.
I don't even remember.
I probably just did something else random.
I think you might have taken out a few verses.
Yeah, it was definitely not. Maybe, I don't know. I might have just used the hook, then put some verses on it, or I don't know. But I definitely did. I did a lot of stuff for Coffee House. I did a lot of performances.
This year, I'm pretty sure. I was talking to Delnia last year, and he was thinking of making us the MCs.
That would have been cool, but
which is super unfortunate.
That would have been really cool. COVID with no coffee houses.
I know.
No, I think I think that's definitely one of the things you lose from like online school, just all the activities and extracurriculars.
Definitely.
It makes high school feel a lot more like grade school, and it just sucks, man. Not having any of the things that like help you like keep sane through the workload.
Yeah, that's a huge part
really
of it. And like something that I really liked about Coffee House is kids would come in like every single grade. And it was one of the few places that like your grade didn't matter, your skill level in the art that you were performing didn't matter. Like it was like just a super chill vibe. And it kind of was the only thing that there was like no judgments, absolutely none in high school, which is like high school itself is just a place of judgment on grades, friends, everything, growth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one of the best places to just be yourself and meet like-minded people. And I really, really miss that.
Yeah. Coffee House, I mean, back in grade 9, I'm sure my bars weren't the best, right? And then there was still like a bunch of like grade 11s, grade 12s like hyping me up and like still like telling me like come perform like every coffee house. And it was just like super accepting. And you know, if you never really got the chance to go, not really that like I feel bad for you, but like you kind of missed out. And so, you know, maybe if you're like a grade 9, 10, 11, you know, listening now and in the future you can go to something like that, or even if you're in grade 12, like go to like poetry nights or like open mic nights at like different places, like kind of get some sort of idea what coffee house could have been like they're all just super fun, super relaxed. Just anything like that is just so vibey. They're amazing.
Like we were thinking of doing a coffee house online, and even the teachers decided against it because the vibes with like half the lights off in the cafeteria and everyone's drinking like 20-cent tea bags with like sugar cubes from the dollar store, and those are like the cookies that you get at the coffee
and some
house.
Like Costco croissants.
Yup. And it was still like priceless.
Yeah.
Like, everything there was just completely
the vibes
priceless.
are always just so immaculate.
Yeah. Like you can't match it ever.
No, you really can't.
Like no online would be able to match that or even come close.
Yeah, plus online like you have to deal with all the like technical issues where like people's mics might not be that good, or like I don't know, they might be like lagging in their voice or anything. There's just like way more issues and whatever. So
yeah, and even without technical
it wouldn't be the same.
Even technical issues aside, even though that is a huge factor, it, like, you just can't
Yeah.
like match any vibes with that. I thought that it was so special, and it really sucks that our grade 12 year
Did you go to
didn't have
that
it.
music gym that was getting set up like a month or two ago? Did you go to that or no?
I honestly couldn't,
Yeah, same.
but I did donate and stuff.
Yeah,
And
it
from
was
what
too
I heard,
busy.
it
I
was pretty
couldn't. Yeah,
okay.
I heard that it was good.
I heard it was like okay.
Going back to coffee house, right? We've been, I know I've been to at least like maybe 10. And if I'm not mistaken, you went to some before you were in high school, right?
Yeah.
And so you've definitely experienced a lot more than I have. So do you have any like performances or like memories that like kind of like stick out like around
Oh my
coffee house?
gosh, yeah, I have so many. From like the ones like before high school. You know those like 1950s like skirts, and they had like the poodles on them?
Yeah.
For a Halloween coffee house, my sister made me perform in my Halloween costume in like 4th grade because I had older sisters who went to Massey before.
Mhm.
And I remember like even before I got into high school, that was like almost 10 years ago now, like 8-9 years ago, and I
Oh my
still
goodness.
remember the vibe being like super chill, and I was like pre-puberty, grade 4 Vala, tiny, can't actually really sing, and I still got like hyped up
Yeah.
by like these random grade 11 and 12s while my
Mhm.
sister played like the piano with me, and I don't know, I feel like the vibes are
Yeah.
timeless.
Those are definitely gonna be like a
Yeah.
lot of like coffee house memories are gonna be ones that like stick with me for a long time.
Oh yeah, me too.
Just like remembering, like, you know, just being in the calf, like going up in front of everybody, and like you kind of have those like butterflies because you're nervous. Then you like go through the performance and everybody's like cheering and whatever, and
Yeah.
and then like you walk off like your hands shaking. I don't know if that happened to you, but like
It
my hands were always
definitely did.
shaking after. Like I'm like shaking the mic. I'm like rattling in my boots. Like
I remember there was actually this one time where you were like, someone recorded me, so I recorded you, and you were so nervous,
oh
and
no,
I was acting like that mom in Mean Girls.
oh no.
Like I was doing that to calm your nerves, I remember, and you were like, that is not helping. Like I could see it in your eyes, and it was the worst.
No.
But you still did really well. Like you didn't forget any verses or anything.
Yeah.
And even if you did, like it wouldn't even matter. And that's
Yeah.
what I loved about Coffee House.
Yeah, I know. I recorded like most. Like I had the lyrics on my phone, and I just bring my phone up with me. But like looking back, if I had another chance to like go to coffee houses, I'd be like bringing like 60-bar like lyrical miracle verses. Like I'd be going crazy on that.
Yeah.
Like just to like get the crowd, like feel that like crowd again and whatever.
I know.
I feel like it'd be so sick.
There are times, like once you get off stage and the butterflies subside after like 25 minutes,
Mhm.
because for like 10 minutes after your performance, your heart is still beating like a mile a minute. You
Mhm.
like literally just like all you want to do is get out there again.
Mhm.
And like I remember feeling that, and I remember like we talked about that when we were cleaning up after coffee house once. Me and Boot are both on the coffee house committee, so we usually stay a little bit late and help clean up. But
Yeah.
I remember like we were talking about this, and all you want to do is get out back on the stage, even if it's like the most terrifying thing you feel like you've ever done. It's just such a good vibe.
Yeah, and I remember there was after one of them, we were all just like freestyling on beats, like me, Hamza,
Yeah.
I think there was like a coffee house like alumni who like came back or something, and we were all just like freestyling on this beat like at the end, like we were playing it through speakers and we were just like freestyling. It was like just like the vibes, man. Like it's so
And like when
crazy.
people wouldn't have enough, because sometimes we'd get like an influx of people who wanted to come. There'd be people who couldn't make it on the sign-up sheet fast enough.
Mhm.
And then there'd be times where half the sign-up sheet is empty and we only make it through like 35 minutes of planned performances.
Yeah.
And for the last like hour of coffee house, you just have impromptu performances of random people in the crowd, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And I do remember the time where Hamza pulled a beat up and everyone just took freestyle.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't remember his name. It was the MC who was with Hamza at the time.
Adam?
I think so. You guys all got up there.
Yeah, I think it was Hamza and Adam.
Yeah, it was. And you guys all got up there and were having like a blast. And everyone in the crowd, even if you're not performing, is also having a blast just watching it. Like it's so entertaining.
Yeah, I remember like there would be like some girl singing some like indie song or whatever, and I'm just like head bobbing like it's some like hard like rap song. Like I'm just like going with it, right? Because it's just like
Yup.
Like I don't know, someone could be like going up and play like your least favorite type of music, and you're just like there for it, you know. You just like
Yeah, right.
you're just
Like,
taking it all in, and it's like there's I don't know how else to describe it, but like in that moment, there's like no other thing you'd rather be listening to. I don't know if that's like you, but like
yeah,
no matter what
that's
it
like
is, or no matter like what type of performance it is, there's like nothing else you'd rather it be every single time. It's
yeah, that's
insane.
that's totally the perfect way to describe it. If I'm honest, I don't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure this guy that everyone knew, he put a backtrack on, and it was like that one song that people, I can't even remember what it's called. The only way that I know how to explain it, the lady in Diary of a Wimpy Kid made everyone audition with. And it's like, turn around.
Okay.
And he sang that, and it's a duet, but he sang it by himself. And I remember, like, I dislike that genre of music, like, very strongly. Like, 80s ballads, duets always bother me. But it was the most entertaining and, like, pure thing I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
And I just cannot, like, I could not describe any type of music or anywhere that I'd rather be in that moment.
Yeah.
Even though it's literally the, like, most obscure song, most obscure performance ever.
And even like there'd be people who maybe like aren't the most like musically like talented or inclined, but like everyone just like is so like accepting, like, you know, like nobody cares, like, you know, you just like go up and like do your best, and everybody's like cheering for you, like everybody's happy, like everybody's just like there for it. It's just I can't stress enough, you know, like if you get a chance to like go to like an open mic night, or like maybe coffee house in the future, at Massey, like once restrictions are over, whether you're in like grade 9 or 10 or 11 now and you're able to go in the future, like just do it. It is the most like chill, accepting vibes you'll like ever have. I can almost guarantee that. Just like go and you won't regret it. I can guarantee it. And I definitely think that's really special at Massey, given the emphasis that's put on academics, where, you know, like I feel like there's a lot of like really judgy kids when it comes to academics, where,
yeah,
you know, if you're like smarter than them, they'll hate on you. If you're maybe like a little slower to learn something, they'll hate on you. Or you're the same, they're like, you know, why are we the same? Like I feel like I'm so much better, you know. It's like everybody, not everybody, but there are definitely a lot of jerks who are really judgmental about academics at Massey. I kind of get it, but then like at the same time, bro, like it's not that serious. You know, like you're gonna get into university with an 80. Just because you have a 95 doesn't mean you have to be, oh, this is so bad, and then you're sitting there with like an 82 average. You have an 82? Like, shut up, bro. Like, it's not that serious. You're gonna get into a university. Who cares if it's not Mac Health? Like, you know, like
for real. There was this one time where I was actually like just vibing, and I was talking to people, and I think it was like grade 9, halfway into grade 9. So you're still learning people's names. You're still learning all the like cliques and stuff. And I remember I had a couple of friends in one class, so I went and I sat with them at lunch that day. I asked a guy what their name is, and he told me his name. And then about 5 minutes later, he didn't ask for mine, by the way. And 5 minutes later, he just asked me, "What's your average?"
What?
And I literally like I looked at him and I blinked, and I'm like, "Excuse me?" I didn't say that out loud, but I was thinking, like, "Excuse me?"
People care so much about their marks, and I think it's really sad that our systems kind of like ingrained us to just like care about the numbers, because your average and your marks, like no matter what anybody says, they don't really matter as much as people feel, and they as sure as hell do not define you, right? So like anybody that's listening, you know, if you're not getting the marks that you want or think you should have or whatever, just know that doesn't make you less of a person. You're still great. You're still wonderful. You're trying your best.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. You're still going to be able to get into university like 99% of the time. You know, just keep doing you. Focus on your mental health. Focus on, you know, doing your best every day, and you're going to get through things, right? But still, it's just like people care like so much about numbers, and it's like really sad to see, because okay, like marks to a certain degree matter, like, right? The difference between like a 30 and an 80 is gonna matter whether or not you like take like night school or you take summer school to like fix it. But like in the long term, it's not really gonna matter. Like my parents are both like fairly successful. Like I have like 3 square meals, I have a roof over my head, right? And my parents have like talked about failing like a couple of classes in high school, right? Or like my parents have talked about how like my mom especially, she said like in high school she like smoked weed and then like her grades started like going down just because like I don't know, it messed with like her brain development, she says. I don't know if she's just trying to like scare me off of it, but like I'm gonna believe her, right? Just because that's my mom. But you know, she's like, I wasn't as smart after I did it, so I was like, and she's still like a nurse in the States, like making like making a good living. Like she's still like successful, and it doesn't really matter as much, and then let alone like that's like the system that we have, the education system, it works so much better for like certain types of people over like others, right? There's barely any representation for like minorities or anything like that, right? Like if you look at like the teaching, the teachers as well as the principals and the superintendents, I think they're called, like there's barely any representation.
Yeah, and like the higher you go up, the less representation there is, which I've noticed, which is super weird.
Right? Like there's some representation as teachers, there's like a little bit less as principals. You get to like superintendents, there's like barely any. Went through the public board website, there's like
I've met one female superintendent, literally just one, which is super sad. No, don't worry about it. I'm just saying, like, it's super outdated too, especially considering where we live. Like, sure, there are plenty of places in Ontario and all over Canada that things haven't really changed. The representation is 99.99% white, Christian, like just the original settlers, whatever. But in a place like Windsor, where our second most spoken language isn't even an official language of Canada, it's Arabic. Our 3 most like spoken languages in Windsor are Mandarin, English, and Arabic. Why would we be trying to teach these values? I guess that's just what, like, the system is obviously outdated and needs to be reformed.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, the only people that can reform it are the people in power, right? And who are the people in power?
Yeah.
White Christians who look like my dad and look like my dad's dad and my mom's dad. And so it's not working for everybody. And like, I get that. But like the problem is, until there's representation in government, the government won't be able to, or won't have any reason really to change all these systems that are in place that like aren't really working for the people.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying.
And even then, like going off of that, it's not just like the school system and just like the way of like representation with teachers and all that.
Yeah.
It's also going into like just the outdated curriculums, right? Like there's so much that's like out of date, especially with like sex ed and like all the like new stuff that isn't being taught that back when the curriculum was being made, that's like what they believe now. But we have so much more information now, and it's just like so out of date. And I don't know, I don't want to like harp too much on this, but it's just like
it's
a big problem where our education system is really messed up, whether it be like sex ed, the representation, or making kids believe that a number defines them, or like only their grades matter.
Yeah,
it's just like such a big problem.
And I've noticed even amongst like a lot of the immigrant families, I'm actually a first gen, my parents are both immigrants, we're living really comfortably. But my dad told me, and he is successful, he runs a business, he was an accountant, he went to university in literally 2 countries, but he told me that he failed chemistry and he like wasn't great at English when he was living in Egypt. Like those were his final marks during like the the national exam that every student takes, their standardized test. So my parents have always stressed grades a little bit more than other parents that I've noticed who've been here for a little bit longer than my parents have, because it actually did define everything they did. And we know now in Canada that that's not the only option. It's not just university or workforce. There's college, there's fellowships, there's GEDs, there's night classes. Like those weren't options. A lot of immigrants like don't really understand that yet. I mean, I'm doing fine in school. I have my acceptance for uni. I'm doing...
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just, I feel like a lot of education needs to be done on both the adults and kids side, and reformation needs to be done on adults and kids sides.
Yeah, and a lot of these issues that people see with the education system or anything like this, like nothing can really change until people know about it, and so just getting knowledge of it out there that these are issues that people face and stuff like that. It's just like the step one, and I don't know about the most important thing, but it's just like step one to like move towards getting progress in these areas that need it. So you said you got accepted to university. First off, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And so you said psychology and music, right?
Yeah, the acceptance for both, but I think that I'm going to be turning down the music and psych double major and be minoring in music.
Okay.
It's not really going to change too much. It's just going to give me more space to do more psych so that I can start building towards a career in it. But honestly, I can't really even see past next week.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking everything day by day.
I find that really relatable. Trying to take everything like day by day, week by week, just trying to like sort everything out. It's kind of tough because every episode of the podcast, it seems people want to talk about the future of the podcast, and like I don't really know. I just know that I want to like keep doing it and like keep getting better each week.
Yeah, of course.
The last episode now with Leah, it is actually out yet. Sorry. It's out, and wasn't the best day. I was a little tired. I feel like I didn't have as much energy as I should have.
Yeah.
I kind of let Leah run the show. She's such a great talker, but just taking that, moving forward, bringing more energy each time, just trying to like get better as I do this. It's so important to be able to move forward like each week and put out an episode, stay consistent. I think it's just like such a good idea. Like don't get yourself overworked worrying about the future. Nobody knows what's happening.
It's really commendable that you're even doing this.
Thank you.
And the fact that you've been so consistent, like you've been sending me my weekly reminders, because we both know that I'd forget if...
Oh, I didn't send you the Leo one.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm going to be listening to it anyways right after this.
Okay.
But I think it's really commendable that you even had the thought of doing this and that you've been following through with it. So taking it week by week, being able to just live in the moment with this podcast, which is super special and super fun, I think is probably the best way to go for now, especially with COVID and especially with everything that's super stressful in our grade 12 years, like normal stuff that's supposed to be stressful.
Life right now is so crazy.
So we're experiencing the normal grade 12 burnout, and then there's COVID burnout too. So it's really commendable that you're even doing this and that you're even being able to stay this consistent. So I'm proud of you.
It's this is gonna be episode 6, so we're going on 6 weeks now.
Wow.
We've pretty much gone through the first month. I recorded my first episode on New Year's. It's January 31st right now, so we're pretty well through the first month. It's been a good month. We've been everything's been going pretty smooth, but right now we have a break in between our two quadmester thingies. I'm gonna try to be recording. I think I have 4 or 5 like lined up in this like break here, so I'm gonna try to like pre-record a bunch and then start getting ahead on these, so it's not like a scramble every week.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna help a lot. Get some done while we have time, and then with the start of the semester, that's always stressful. That needs a lot of attention. So being able to like relax a little more and just know that we have these in that bag is gonna be huge. Like I know I'm recording this with you right now, and then at 7 tonight I'm gonna be recording with one of my cousin's friends that I've met a couple times.
Nice.
And then tomorrow I'm gonna be recording with Victoria and maybe Jafar Parker. Although Parker has a lot on his plate right now, but so it's probably just gonna be 4, but still.
Yeah.
That's like a month of episodes just done in like a weekend.
Of course, it's actually crazy.
It's gonna be huge to get through like all of these and being able to just like move forward with that.
And you know what? Once you have your free time after you've done this and you have them all queued up, maybe you'll be able to start thinking a little bit more future-wise.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't really be worrying about it. It's just great
Mhm.
that you're even doing this.
Yeah, the only thing I know for sure right now is that like in the future, at some point, maybe like in a couple months, I want to do like a full like rebrand, like get everything done, like everything matching and like a good theme and everything.
Yeah.
Because like right now, the like thumbnails on the like podcast and then like the banner and like a bunch of different stuff, like none of it really like matches very well.
Yeah.
Like it's all kind of just thrown together just to like be able to rebrand like later down the line once everything's running smoothly.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like something that's really good. So I'm gonna be like looking at a bunch of different options on like who can do the logos and the banners and all this different stuff. And
yeah, and branding is honestly tough.
Oh, for sure.
I would never be able to like do something like this because the creativity part of talking and all that's fine, but the branding takes forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to stay consistent, and I think that it's like great that you're even trying.
Yeah.
And that you're thinking of doing it future, because that's something that's going to take a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've gotten into the groove of this, I think that might be a good next step.
Yeah, and I definitely think like in the summer, you know, when I won't really have like as much on my plate, you know, maybe like really ahead, like we can probably get like a couple months ahead or like get like just crazy ahead as you have like everything scheduled. We'll have like episodes recorded in like June coming out in August because we record like 8 in a week or something. I don't know, like I feel like
you might even be able to do like separate topics on separate days where you post like twice a week or something.
Yeah.
If summer really becomes that time where you can become
just get on the grind.
Independent. Yeah.
Just get on the grind with like work and the podcast. Just have like 2 things where you don't really have to like worry about anything else. I feel like that would be super cool.
Yeah. That would honestly be a vibe indeed.
Mm-hmm. You know, looking forward, you know, there is a lot of things that, you know, like in life are kind of like guaranteed where like the sky's blue or, you know, there's like always stuff that is going to be true. They're constants, right? But like sometimes, you know, things are true, but you can't really like accept it. Like it just doesn't click with you, right? So do you have like anything like that where like I'll go first, like right? Like I saw a TikTok the other day where like this guy was talking about how like he was trying to think of a way to move faster than like the speed of light. He was thinking, right, like this if you were to send like a light, like shine a light at the moon or like a laser at the moon, it's gonna take like 1.3 seconds to get there because it's like the distance and the speed of light, it takes like 1.3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So he was thinking of like ways to go faster than that to go to the moon, right? And so he was like, what if he has like a really big stick and then he has like a button on the moon, right? And then so all he has to do is move his hand up and then like the buttons flicked instantly. He was explaining it, right? And so basically, right, when you move the bottom of the stick, you're like moving those atoms into the sticks, into the atoms above it. And so it's like a shock wave of like the stick moving. Yeah. And so like on the small scales of like a meter stick or something, you don't notice it.
Yeah.
But like if you had a stick that big, it would take like way longer than the 1.3 seconds for the end of the stick on the moon to actually realize it's getting pushed up.
Wait.
And it would actually be moving at the speed of sound rather than the speed of light. So like you'd move the bottom of the stick and it would take like 4 seconds for it to like hit the button or, you know, whatever amount of time it would take.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's weird.
You know it's true just because like it makes sense. You move the stick up and it goes like, you know, it doesn't, I can't accept it, you know, until I see it, I can't accept it, you know? And I want to go back. You said you don't believe in the stock market.
Okay, I just can't. Shush. Okay. Why is there
okay, like I'm not gonna like try to.
No, shush. I'm gonna explain this. Why is there a world debt?
Please
No.
do.
Why is there a world debt? Who do we owe it to? The aliens? God?
The world debt?
No, shush. What does it mean? And what are these numbers? Why can't we just print more money? I actually know why we can't do that, but still.
Well, I mean, the U.S. is doing it, but they won't find out for a couple of years now because they're printing all this money
but the money isn't staying in their economy. They're like printing their money to like buy stuff from China because they're a consumer market. And so right now they're running at a deficit. So eventually, when these countries that they're sending all their money to want stuff from them and their money gets reintroduced to them, then they're gonna feel it, and it's gonna be really bad.
Okay, I can like this is genuinely what I think a lot of boys hear when I talk about astrology. Like, I didn't understand any of that. Like, I can explain to you what your Mars, Mercury, and Venus signs and Jupiter and Saturn signs mean. But if you try to tell me
your Jupiter retrograde,
yeah, if you try to tell me right now,
if I try to explain to you,
we made up money. It is a social construct. You know what isn't a social construct? Stars.
Because you can't get more gold. There's only the amount of gold that we have.
It was real. Exactly. Why is only 1% of total money like printed money? Why is the rest of it just electronic? Like, this is my problem. Money is a social construct.
Yeah, like back in the like now, if you were to like go take a loan and you call the bank up and you say, hey, like I want this loan, they're just putting it into a spreadsheet that you now have this 100,000. Nothing about anything changed. You don't have more possession than you used to.
Yeah.
It's just numbers and spreadsheets now, right?
I know.
And so that's a problem, right? Like 40% of like all American currency was like printed in the last year with their like huge like stimmy checks and you know, like everything like that. It's gonna end really bad for them. You know, I don't really care if like you understand what I'm saying, but like, you know, if anybody out there cares, like it's gonna end bad for them. It's just gonna take a while, but it'll come back to them, right?
And like, here's the thing. I hope you don't think I'm stupid. Like, I understand like the deficits. I understand that when there's consumer trading, there's everything, but I genuinely like the stock market is run. I understand that it's run by like hedge funds, 1% total, blah blah blah, but even they lose money. Like, we've seen that in the last week at least. They've lost money. Well, and I understand, but I mean, like,
okay, they've lost money because they were stupid and didn't expect to be called out on their
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so if they're like able to be like knocked down a peg, then I just want to know, like, who's running this? Who, like, because here's the thing. In my grade 9 business class, my teacher tried to explain to me that the stock market is like how much a stock it's worth, like it's worth, is based off of what people think of it, like, and buying and who, like, there's just a mind who is telling us what this like thing means and what these numbers mean and who's buying these stocks and who's borrowing these stocks, and like no, I don't want to hear it.
Okay,
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, I feel like we're in the same boat, but like on opposite sides. Like I know you literally just said the meme where it's like, you know, like astrology girl and finance guy, and like I'm not like a business guy. I'm not going into that. Like, a lot of those guys need to find something else. Like, but like I understand it. I feel like more than the average person.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like 17, but you know, like, I feel like we literally have this right now, like, in front of...
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's so weird. Like, it's such a... Like, I don't even know, because I understand it might be hard to conceptualize, like, what an entire birth chart means. But I could literally tell you what your birth chart means right now.
Okay, like
right now.
If I tell you my birthday, like, can you, like, tell me something then?
Yeah. I already know
like,
know your birthday.
Okay, so, like, May 14th, like, Taurus, like...
Yeah.
Like, is there something you can like speak with Jupiter or whatever and like tell me something?
I'm not gonna go talk.
I don't know how this all works.
Jupiter. I'm not gonna go have a conversation.
Okay,
with
can you
Jupiter
go talk to like Titan or something?
No.
Go talk to the moons or I don't know.
I'm gonna explain. So basically, based on where you were born, the day you were born, the year you were born, and the minute and hour, you can figure out, like, I don't even know if I fully believe in it, but I think it's super fun, and usually it's pretty accurate. But it's super vague too, so it's kind of like that reaffirming type thing. And our birthdays are 3 days apart.
Yeah.
And one of our sort of mutual friends, Alex Dobrin.
Yeah.
He has a birthday exactly one day after me, so I put his chart and like birth day and like where he was born into the little chart maker, and we have the exact same chart other than like 2 placements.
Okay. See, I think that's really odd because I think Dobrin's a lot closer to me than
Yeah,
you.
I know, but you also are 2 days apart from us.
Okay.
Like it's we're gonna have very similar things.
Uh,
And if you think, and the way that it works is that certain things have a cycle of a month. Like we know that the month, like the sun sign that everyone knows, like you're a Taurus, that changes every month.
Mm-hmm.
And then your ascendant changes every 2 hours.
What's an ascendant?
The moon, I don't really remember. Ascendant is your rising sign. I'm gonna have to come back on here and I'm gonna give you a chart reading.
Okay.
But this was literally going to take an hour for me to try to explain this. And there's ones that are personal, like they change every 2.
Yeah, we can have you on again in the future, and we can do like a full rundown on this. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like personally, if I believe it, right? Like just like I feel like when you were born, like it doesn't really matter as much as like where you were born and who you were born by.
Yeah, and where you were born also affects it.
What?
Where you were born is like it also affects it too. If Alex Dobrin wasn't born in the same city as me, his chart would have been different.
So how's the chart know? How's the chart know where you were born?
You have to tell it.
Oh.
No,
okay.
like you put your information in and then you get a chart.
Okay,
You can have me back on at some point in the future and I can do a chart reading on a couple of people.
I'm gonna have you on again and you can go through all this. I don't know. I'm skeptical. Like I don't really think I'm always down to like learn or at least have an open mind with stuff. So I'd definitely be down to do that in the future. Generally, like not everybody of course, but generally I feel like girls are more like imaginative and have like stronger like imaginations and they're like more creative, or like guys more of the time like feel like they need like concrete like stuff. They like want to live in reality, and I feel like that's a lot of the time why people are, or not people, but like guys are like out of touch with their emotions because they don't really like see that as like reality because it's like inside, right? It's you have to like see it and like see it inside, right? It's not like just find it like within yourself first. You have to.
Don't worry about it.
I can't think of the word, but I don't know. It's just like you have to like point your finger to it first before you can like do anything.
I totally understand what you mean, and it sucks because I feel like subconsciously guys are like pushed away from being creative at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
When I know that there's like you, I feel like you are even much more creative than most guys that I know. Like you're like imaginative, you like sure you're skeptical about stuff, but you still try, and like you're gonna have fun with these things, and you're musically inclined and all that. So I feel like a lot of guys are just taught like not to be artistic, or not to show their like imagination, so it just kind of dies because it's not like cultivated. Whereas girls, it is.
Yeah, and definitely like I know personally, like in grade 7, like my science teacher, she had like a STEM class. She had a STEM class, right? And so we'd like go through like different like STEM kind of like activities where like you get like a certain amount of straws and hot glue and whatever, and then you have to like make the strongest tower. You have to just different stuff that like gets you thinking about like different concepts of like science and math and whatever, right? And then like in grade 8, our teacher was like, oh yeah, like I've talked with a bunch of people and like so now we're gonna do STEAM. So it's like science, technology, engineering, art,
that
and
seems
math.
like a way better.
And then so it brings creativity into like STEM, right? Which is so like needed, right? Because in engineering you're gonna have to be able to like sketch stuff. You're gonna have to be able to like draw like rough ideas of like different things you're gonna have to be building, or I don't know, different stuff like that, right? Like you can be like super smart with like math and like the science behind everything. Like if you can't like draw your sketches or like draw ideas or whatever, and being able to like have somebody else see what you see or see what gonna hurt you in the long run, right? So like they're trying to like cultivate that a little bit more. And then like all the guys are just like, oh miss, we can't draw, why do we have to do this? And it's just like I feel like definitely like a lot of guys in like grade school, and just because like told like, oh like go like keep drawing, keep doing this, or like so like once out of like preschool or whatever, that's like not being like pushed on them anymore. Like they just stop doing it, And so by like grade 7, all the guys are like, miss, like, I'm not good at art, like, and then she's like, dude, just do your best. And you know, like, you get like a 80 in it, and they're like, or like, I guess in grade school it'd be like you get a B minus or whatever, you get it like a B or A minus or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you're like, miss, like I never knew like art was so good, and then you never do it again. Still, like,
Yeah.
like I feel like that's definitely like what happened with me, right?
Music therapy is just like, it seems like common sense to me because I've been surrounded by music and it's been my therapy for the last 17 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you, to a similar degree, understand that music, writing, listening to, just consuming music is just therapeutic.
Mm-hmm. Whether it be like making music, right, where you're able to like express yourself, or
Yeah.
just like taking in music that is able to like show
Yeah.
like the same emotions that you're feeling, perhaps, or like music of the same emotions and same kind of like traits that you want to portray can help you fake it till you make it, right? Like,
Yeah.
if like all you're being shown is like music that just like exudes confidence, right? Like, and I'm sure there's some people who are gonna hear that and be like, what, like music can't have like traits like that, but it definitely can.
It does.
And so, right, like you hear music that just like exudes confidence or whatever traits that you're trying to like portray and become, like I definitely think it can like help you, I don't know, I guess like ease you into that kind of like role. You know, if you're like having a bad day, you know, everybody like has, or not everybody, but like most people have like a song that if you're having a bad day, you either like put on a sad song that makes it feel somebody out there like understands the same emotions that you're feeling, or you put on a song that's able to cheer you up and, you know, kind of like make you, you know, realize that there's like still a sun, it's just being blocked by some clouds, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of that same thing. And I feel one of those for me personally is the last like 3 minutes of Runaway by Kanye, where he uses his voice as an electric guitar. Like, I just feel like the amount of like emotion that he puts into that is like crazy.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm like feeling upset, I like hear that and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And I just kind of like forget about how upset I am, and I'm just kind of like amazed at you know, his musical prowess.
And of course, like, music therapy is mostly just focused on classical music, which if you don't listen to classical music, you probably should, because it honestly bumps.
Mm-hmm.
And it can get you so hyped. And I know you know this because you've like we've shared some recs for some classical music before with each other, but like, it can be with any genre of music. Anything that can get you to connect with yourself and your emotions, or get yourself to a place where you feel more confident, or get you to a place where you feel like you can speak and be heard.
Mm-hmm.
That is super like important, and people don't realize it. And it's usually lost on boys more than it is on girls.
Yeah, I definitely think that's true.
So I feel like, going back to the like original point of this conversation, like the reason why I feel like boys are so, like, obviously they're told from birth to be less emotional, subconsciously or overtly. And like, people who don't listen to music, where they think music isn't important, like, that gets lost on boys so much easier than it does on girls, which sucks. Like, it's a bigger issue than just like not listening to music.
Yeah, and I definitely think that stems back to what we were saying earlier, where like creativity and like art is kind of like suppressed in males rather than in females. You know, we've touched on like a lot of issues. We've talked about coffee house. We've talked about, you know, how the stock market is fake and how astrology is fake, and you know,
this was like 7 separate episodes. I'm so sorry.
But no, it's been lovely. I've really enjoyed having you on.
It was a pleasure to be here. It was super fun.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be sure to get you on in the future, and we could do a more in depth
a chart reading.
Yeah. You know, I'll be looking forward to that. But in the meantime, you have 30 seconds. You know, plug anything you have going on. You know, maybe plug some social media or anything you want to bring attention to. It doesn't have to be anything about you. You could just shine light on something, or some sort of movement, or anything that you want to, you know, bring attention to.
Go follow Sponsors of Sanctuary. It's just on Instagram. it is supporting the sanctuaries for all people, like food banks, shelters, stuff like that, all over Windsor, Essex. And it's run by a bunch of amazing students from from Vincent Massey. If you haven't today, go take your medication, drink some water, eat some food, stay safe, and remember you're loved. I don't know what else to say.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll be sure to put sponsors of sanctuaries down in the description if anybody wants to go check that out.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast, and I'll be.
It's been a blast,
and I'll be looking forward to having you on in the future. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Brad.